Hi, it's me. Welcome to the stream. So I think I solved the problem, quote unquote solved the problem. The problem being that whenever I have most of the times I've been attempting to stream lately, it's that my dad is home, as well as using my mom, but it's primarily because my dad is home and using the Roku TV. I think that's probably what the main issue is. It's just there's too many people using the internet all at once. Right now, my mom is away visiting a friend for the evening, and won't be back until tomorrow morning, afternoon. I'm not really sure. And then my dad is visiting my aunt, and it takes like 2.5 hours to get where she is from where we live, so it's just me and my brother in the house right now, so it's just us two using the internet at the moment. So hopefully this will be a stable enough connection until 6 o'clock tonight when I'm playing to end the stream. We'll see. I want to apologize first and foremost for not streaming yesterday. because I had a plan. I had a plan where I was going to, hang on. I was gonna take a bath, and then and then after the bath I was gonna stream, but then I got distracted by, watching videos on YouTube. So then I simply didn't take the bath, and then I felt disappointed in myself, because then I only had so much time before my mom came to pick me up from the apartment I'm staying at, to come home. And I just decided that we weren't gonna stream then, because I'd already wasted enough time. So now here we are, streaming on Saturday instead. Oh, yawning. And despite having to change my entire schedule this week, it's we still have to deal with this. What is on the cell phone? Just that? Yeah, it's just that. Nothing really new. The exclamation mark just means that there's the stupid after party going on. At least get some of these people. McCormick. Roxanne! Alright. I think that is fine enough to go to morning. I just didn't do it the last time because I didn't feel like ending it, is all, I think. Anywho, we have face cam today. I have my webcam with me because it's at home and it's on a tripod. And I decided that that's just what we're gonna have today. It was spur of the moment. Eventually I will probably draw a PNG tuber that is based off of the current design that I have, that I've been working on stream mostly. Finalizing on stream mostly, that is to say. But I still don't know how I'm going to do the patterns that I want to do on the clothing. That's the important part, is making sure that the clothing looks nice and it is easy enough for potential 3D artists to recreate. That is what it's mostly about. I don't know what's in my shop right now. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, yawning again. Okay, my mom's texting me to make sure I let her know when my dad comes home. Okay. Good morning, Junko. This is your boutique, is it? I actually wandered in here by accident. I didn't realize it was your place. I was walking by your shop when I saw some really well-dressed people going in. And more well-dressed people coming out. I just had to come in and take a look for myself. Do you think you could pick out something nice for me? Like a pair of pants that say the wearer isn't bold individual. Oi, it's been a few days since I've had to read. None of those shorts. None of that here. We're back on the grind, folks. We're back at it again at Krispy Kreme. What is the most expensive thing that I can get her without breaking her bank? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know. Shush. We could do those, but I think it'd be better if we do the big pants. The brown pants, specifically. I forgot to get my quote-unquote tissues again. Fine, I'll be fine. I didn't take my allergy, my Allegra 24 hours pill either today. That's fine, doesn't really matter. Alright, there we go. Is she wearing them out? Probably not. She is not. I can just barely see it. Right on, I trust you to get it perfect, Junko. I know I'm always snapping pictures of you, but the tables have turned. I'll be coming to you for my fashion needs from now on. Things are going to get even more fun now. I was gonna go people watching in the park. If you have time, you're welcome to tag along, Junko. I wonder what kind of people we'll see today. See you around. Alright, what do I have in the storage? I don't remember again. Makes sense. Girly. Fair enough. Preppy. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. This entire week so far, up until now, has been real wacky to say the least. This is not even just because I've gone back to school this week. It is also because of the things going on in the real world. Like actual real world. The college is the real world, sure, but that's still somewhat isolated for the most part. College experiences can be particularly isolated, especially if, you know, a lot of the students tend to live on campus. I don't, because that costs more to live on campus than it did to cost to live off campus, so. I probably need some more bold items. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. Edgy. Not a lot of edgy stuff. We'll see if that shop's open. And maybe the sporty stuff and the basic stuff. Let's bring... Okay, so sporty, edgy, and basic, which is easy enough to get. Basic stuff is really easy to get, in fact. It does not take too long at all. Let us head on over, see if we can get any of those things today. God, my neck. Okay, so we can't go to Zipline. We can go to Uber Cloth, though. That's fine. Alright. Grab this. Grab this. Grab one of these. Grab one of these. One of these shirts. Not huge on the colors in this shirt. One of these. Go with the yellow one. Couple more shirts. These two. This one's real good. Okay, and then we can grab probably all of these, honestly. I don't want to fill up it completely with the basic stuff, but you gotta get some things going, you know? Gotta make sure that there's some options happening. That's good to get. We'll grab one of these, and then we'll grab this, or these. Those are just regular pants, that's fine. Let's get those. I kind of want to get those greenish shorts, but they're kind of tiny. We'll get one of them then. Skirts, we don't really need too many skirts. I say as I'm getting all of them because they're cheap, and it's easy. We'll grab this one. This one's pretty good. That one. The other one I would grab if it were not for the fact that it's so super short. Alright, and then the arm warmers. Gotta grab those. Bag as well. Hat. Yes, the scarves. The scarves actually go with everything, so that's helpful. And then the white ones. And then... let's go with this. Buffalo check is what it's called. These are some cute socks. Let's go with a few of these. Get some more neutral tones going again. None of these are really neutral. I'll grab these two. I don't like grabbing these ones because, you know, they're capri, so it's not particularly all that great. We'll get one of those. And then this pair of sneakers, white shoes. Alright, so let's stock up on like 2 of nearly everything. I think that's pretty good. 2 of the hats. Yeah. I feel like those dresses will be used in multiple things, as will these. I don't really like those colors as much. That one probably will be, so let's grab another of that. Couple jackets. That. Trying to grab things that I know for a fact that I'm gonna be using. That's what we're making sure to stock up for sure. Also, this one has like multiple. That one's lower cost anyway, so that's fine to grab a couple of those. This, probably that. I think we're good. So we still have a bit. We still have a little bit over spots left, so you can see if the edgy place is open. It is stage dive. Grab some of those. That'll be nice. Oh, wonderful. Anywho, I hope you all are having a nice Saturday afternoon question mark. I forever and always will not know what to qualify this time of day in terms of the like if it's evening or if it's the afternoon. You're just giving me purple pants. You're just giving me purple pants. Although this did remind me that since I last streamed, the Nintendo Direct came out for Tomodachi Life, and that's fun. Tomodachi Life is coming out in April 16th. And that's somebody's birthday, and I have no idea whose. I'm pretty sure it's a character, but it might be someone in real life, and that would be incredibly embarrassing. Since I don't remember who that would be. Grabbing this as well. And that one to go along with the rest of the yellow stuff. Definitely the suitcase. Get that one particular. The hats are fun. The collars are fun. As well as the pendant. Actually, hang on. It says it's an arrowhead. Which is making me think that this may not be entirely PC, which makes sense. This is a game from 2013, I want to say. What the heck? Tarot card leggings? I don't think I've seen this one before. That's neat. I hate leggings in real life. They're very much so. I don't like tight things around my body, and like leggings are just tight pants without any pockets even. So it's all around not a good time for me. These are fun. Those are fun looking boots. Oh, the flames ones. We gotta get the flames ones. Those are important. I am spending a lot of money. Oh well. And of course the thigh highs. Alright, let's see what we can manage to spend some of our extra money on. Oh, game slowed down for a second there. That's a little bit wacky. I'd like to at least get these. That would be nice. This jacket. As well as this one. Okay, I can grab that one as well. That's good. Okay, it's a lot, but I feel like it's worth it. Whee. Oh, we're running low on the funds. We're running low on money. That's not good. Harlow Heights. No. Let's go to Oobcloth here as well, just to get some other stuff. Just in case. Do we need any other stuff from here? We've already gotten everything from here on this particular day of the week. That is a shame. Not sure why that's the case. Let's take a look at Department 9. Okay, I don't have that one. And I don't have this one. Apparently this jacket here, which is incredibly expensive. Alright, cool. Great. We now have to decide what we actually want from the cart. That's cool. That's fantastic. I hate that it's so expensive, that everything is just so goddamn expensive. That's so great. The game might be a little bit quiet on your end, honestly. I'm gonna bump it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh wait, are those? Okay, they're comic book long johns. That's fascinating. Yeah, I can't get another one of those. I was like, can I get another one of those? Nope. $2.30. What a steal. Yeah, this week has been It's been a lot. There's been a lot, and I'm realizing again that, oh wow, it sure does take a lot to be a successful college student. And it's a miracle I managed to make it through the first time around. Don't you love being out on the open sky, Taiga? The weather is so incredible. I wish I could take a picture of the entire sky, the world over. Junko, you came! This park is so full of nature. It's like, it's just one big living, breathing entity. I want to photograph everything. The landscape, the leaves, the last little droplets of dew on the grass. Days like this remind me of my grandmother. Did I ever tell you I got my camera from her? She gave it to me when I was still a little kid. Any other kid might have broken it, but I treasured the old thing. Sometimes I wonder why she gave it to me. She was a pro. Shot for all kinds of publications. Incredible work too. Then one day she just gave it up and handed me the camera. She always says she loves retirement, but I wonder. Thanks so much for today. Seeing you lifted my spirits a ton, I appreciate it. Oh, I forgot to ask. Junko, you don't mind if I spread your shop's name around to my customers, right? Because I've kind of been doing that. You know how everyone wants to dress up just right for their photos. When they're confident and having fun, we have better shoots. Plus, well, I personally adore your shop. Thanks, Tegan, I guess. Alright. Let's actually play the game. Anyone new? Anyone new? Anyone new? No one new. Alright, you're first. I've just been for tea at the cafe near here. The roast tea is just amazing. I just love the tangy taste of it. I can't get enough. And the girl who works at the cafe is wonderful. Very friendly, one of the most helpful girls I've ever met. She was wearing a simple, cute outfit that looked really good on her. Think you can find something like that for me? Well, I just went to the Uber cloth, so that's good. It says simple, cute outfit, but the cute is not emphasized, so I'm going to assume you mean basic. Based on your outfit as well. Hang on. I need to respond to my mom. Alright. New stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. We got a lot of new stuff. But yeah, at the same time, it's nice to be back. I am slowly realizing the fact that I'm, like, not realizing, but the fact that I am 27 and I've never been in a relationship, or haven't had any very long-standing friendships outside of the computer is highly concerning, and I'm worried about myself for the future. But I'm also too terrified to speak and don't want to bother people. It's a matter that I probably shouldn't be discussing on stream, but it's also my stream, so who really cares? Hardly anyone watches these anyways. Well, actually, this Style Savvy is actually the one that's the most viewed of my streams. In terms of the series, of course. Zero glasses, god dang. But yeah, it's like, it's a matter of... how do I want to put this? It's a self-esteem issue thing that I've been struggling with for a good long while, and didn't realize fully that it was a self-esteem issue until I talked to a counselor at the college last semester. That really dawned on me that, like, oh, it really is just a very large self-esteem issue that I'm struggling so much with my own self-worth. It's the blacks that don't match that's bothering me. Where it's just like, I very much, I would like to be friends with people, but I don't want to I don't have that high esteem of myself, so therefore I don't put myself out there if I can help it. I'd rather... It's why I chose to stream at 4 o'clock today, because people were already streaming during this time. People that I semi-regularly hang out in the streams of. I didn't want to step on their toes. I've mentioned this before. My habit of not wanting to step on people's toes. And feeling like a bit of a bother. It's been a hard battle. And I'm not really winning, I don't think. If only because every time anybody tells me that, hey, you matter, I feel like yes and no. In a cosmic sort of way, no. In a people that I know right now, yes. I knew getting you to choose something for me was the right choice. Could it be that the cafe waitress comes here too? It must be. How did I never suspect until now? Everything makes sense. That's why her outfits are so nice. She's been here like one time, maybe. She raises rare, prize-winning orchids in her own greenhouse. Wow. Last week I went mountain climbing. The view from the top was breathtaking, so I took in a big gulp of air and yelled as loud as I could from the peak. I never heard my own voice in an echo so loud before. It was quite impressive. You should really try it sometime. I'm after a top to wear next time I go mountain climbing. Sporty kind would be the best. Do I actually have any sporty tops? I don't think I do. I think we had this problem last time, unless it was hats. Okay, that's 3 in total. That's great. Just take this? Sure, that works. They don't care about the weather, that's fine. Nobody cares about weather, it's fine. Yeah, apologies you didn't come here to the stream. What is happening with... That's her undershirt. That looks so weird. Oh my god, what the heck is going on there? Cool. Anyways... How have I not given you something before? This is a wonderful top. I'm gonna scale 100 mountains in it. Rather. Look out, great outdoors, I've been shopping. I'm just a bit tired today. So we're going very little filter. There is no filter here. There is only pain and suffering. They both find the same things absolutely adorable. Finally, we found a clothes shop. We ran all the way here, of course, and it looks like we've hit gold. Charlotte's Web. We got such a wide range here. What about top and skirt? They've got so many clothes, they're bound to have something for you. You're right. You know, having to keep up with the housework and all that, I hardly have time to leave the house. Time to shop, rather. Now that I do, I'm going to go wild and buy as much as I can. I don't know when I'll have another chance, so if you can, could you get me a top and a skirt that'll suit my style? I will try. No promises. Gotta get rid of that filter, because otherwise it just shows me this top. I hate that it does that. I hate that they do that. And boho chic, because that's what she's wearing as far as I can tell. Alright, so top. Oh yeah, we got some good ones. And a skirt. Yeah, I really gotta work. I have to put in the work to up my self-esteem, which is hard. It's even harder to, like, make myself take care of myself, aside from very, very basic things. There's things about myself that I don't tell online, because obviously that's going to get me not canceled, and not in trouble either. It's going to make me unapproachable, probably. I feel like unapproachable is a good word for it. Maybe? I don't know. Like, you don't... Like, there's people online who stream and then tell people their sexual preferences. That's not what I'm talking about, but it's very strange when I come into a stream and then people, like, talk about sex And it's just like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing here. And then for the most part, I get a bit uncomfortable. That's not really the kind of stream experience I'm after. That's kind of what I want out of my stream content for the most part. Funny, haha, pee pee poo poo, penis jokes. Sure, but like, not full blown. Ah, yes, this is my. Ah, yes, I look at porn type of stuff. Apologies, I'm basically subtweeting someone right now. Multiple people probably, but it's just the kind of thing I was searching for. Never seen an outfit that suits you so perfectly before. I was thinking the exact same thing, Jinx. I mean, great. Princess. You all have been here for a while now. We're gonna go for you now. I'm really into photography. It's kind of embarrassing, but I particularly like taking photos of cats. Cats playing, cats lying in the sun. I try to take at least one every day, to be honest. I can't help myself. They're just so cute. Speaking of photography, they've made some improvements at the photo studio in town. You can select from lots of different backdrops to use in your pictures. They can give a whole different atmosphere to your photos. Oh, listen to me. It's nice of you to hear me while I ramble on, but now it's time for me to buy some clothes. I need some kind of girly outfit. Girly clothes would be really good for attracting cats, right? Or maybe I just want to be a kitten myself. Hehe. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you are just a furry, and that's okay. Yeah, I apologize specifically for rambling on about depressing things. I think today is not a very good mental health day for me specifically. Sometimes that just happens. You don't like those types of days, but sometimes they happen and you really can't do a whole lot about it except attempt to move forward as much as you can. Why do I have so many of these dresses? Try a little something here. Okay, well that looks odd. That looks odd and I don't like it. That looks odd as well. It's the fact that it's like very big wide pants that are bothering me. So no dresses. Unless... Nope, no dresses. Zoom in. Come on, zoom in. Do 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 do. These shirts are back. That's interesting. Oh, that's kind of bright and cheery. That's fun. Can we get something to go on top that'll help? That actually does help a bit. And I don't think I'm gonna get anything that's very blue to me. Oh, we found something. Okay, then shoes that are not super duper expensive. That's pushing it. Oh my god. Do I really just not have any non-expensive shoes? That sucks. I guess we'll have to go with this. I'll just have to do it. It's a very simple outfit, but it'll have to work. It doesn't match her color scheme at all. Here we go. It honestly might look better on someone with darker skin tone. My aunt says that yellow is not very good for black people, for darker skinned folks, but, you know. You don't know that. How do you know? Just because you don't like it on yourself doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for everybody else. This outfit is spot on. As soon as I leave the boutique, I can imagine all the cats in the city swarming around me like a furry hurricane. A flurry hurricane. My kitty cat photo collection will be complete. Prue. Fascinating name. Alright, you as well. She runs a boutique in a neighboring town. Oh, her! Right. The lady from the first game. Ah! Nice to see you again. Don't suppose you've seen my boss in here today? He owns boutiques that I manage. I'm sure you've met him. I gave him explicit orders to come visit your shop. He's wearing a blazer and a pink shirt. He's pretty easy on the eye, if you know what I mean. You haven't seen him today? Well, we came to town together, but we got separated somehow. Oh well, he's a grown man. He can take care of himself. We have plans to meet up later, so I'm not all that concerned. But since I'm already here, I should probably do a little shopping. Do you have any great party dresses I could try on? I could try. I don't really know what you want, per se. Like, what, if you're just looking for a party dress, and I have plenty. I don't know what your tastes are exactly, though. I do not remember. Oh, we do have options. Not a whole lot, but we have options. I guess we'll go with this one, because that's all I have. Cool. I have to decline your request. Because I don't have what you want. I just have my water today. She's always been a fly of the seat of the pants kind of girl. Then I came out thinking that I'd buy something today. Just take out the thinking that I'd buy. Like today I came out. I have my heart set on a base layer and a skirt. That's clear, right? Today I'm being no nonsense. I'm saying everything plainly. I want to ask her what I want in a decisive, clear way. I'm the opposite of all your other customers, aren't I? I can't really tell what her outfit style is. Based on her budget, I'm gonna go with feminine. But we'll put luxury on the back burner. Because it might be luxury. It's a little hard to tell. So I'm gonna go for something that qualifies for both. Oh, we don't have a lot, do we? Uh-oh. That is unfortunate. Alright, hang on, let me see what happens when I do this. Okay. Okay. That can work. I've probably done this exact same combo before. It's so refined. I think that means feminine. So we did a good job. We did it. Yippee! This looks very familiar to me, so I've probably done this combo before. A bunch. Alright, cool. Thanks. Boop. I'm really glad I asked for your help. I was sure if anyone could help me, you could. I'll definitely ask for your help again. See you later. First visit? Alright, we have to do her before we go do the contest. She likes to collect ticket stubs from each show she's seen. Nicolette. This name has come up before, if only because I have an OC named Nicolette Pearl. A very old one from when I was in middle school. I don't use her very often anymore, but, she's near and dear to my heart in a way. Good evening, do you have a minute? I had my photo taken the other day. It might be too cold right now to be in the mood for photos. Oh, I had something I wanted to ask. I'd like you to show me some preppy outerwear. That would make me so happy. We'll do our best here, Chief. We'll do what we can. Your budget is tiny though, so that's unfortunate. Ba-ba-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da. That probably technically counts. Let's actually open up the thing. Just to make sure we got what we want. No. 6. Yeesh. That did not count, it turns out. Okay. The green one then. No, the blue one, because she's wearing... No, the green one. Hooray! I keep thinking she has a headband on, but she doesn't. It's just that that particular hairstyle tends to have headbands with it. In conjunction. You need to put some socks on. Some really high socks, at least knee high. Hey, you have the best taste in clothes. Plus, this is the perfect weapon in the fight against cold weather. Right, I'm off to take more photos. By the way, the backdrop for today's photo is in the park. Should be pretty. Thanks so much for your help. You said today's photos, but unfortunately because it's evening, you have to wait until night, the next day. Bye-bye! Shut up. I have to go do contests now. Shut your face, please. I have a lot of thoughts about various different things, but it's always so hard to get those thoughts out of your mouth. So I don't talk ever. Lucky charm, a girly outfit that's also elegant. You're gonna make me do my best here, but... Okay, let's go... I wanna go with a girly outfit that's also elegant. Let's go with Pippa, because she looks more elegant. My name is Lucky because I'm really lucky. If you want to win, why not have luck on your side? Get a horseshoe. Crab. A lucky charm. It fits with a Pima as well, also, so. Girly, so we'll put a little bit of Cantata Moto in there, but not too much. Not an excessive amount. Oh, hey, Capricorn Zodiac tea. Yeah, I never had that one. I had the Sagittarius one because, my birthday's in Sagittarius. Junko and Ashima's birthday is December 24th, so. Which is the same birthday as one of my cousins. She turned 60 last year. i.e. a month ago. Having conversation with Mom. She texts me and I text her back, and sometimes there's miscommunications. Well, not necessarily miscommunications, but something of the like. Do you want piss yellow? Do you want banana yellow sundress? Is that what you like? Because that's what you can get. Let's go with this one. I think that one looks pretty lovely. And then, like, a longer jacket would be nice. Okay. We're not getting good longer jackets. I'm gonna go with the pink and hope that won't be a mistake to go with it. Yes, that's definitely what I want. That could work. Part of me wanted to play like The Sims 4 today, but some of my very highly legal like packs that I have, expansions and various things for the game just simply are not working. The newest ones no longer register as me having them, which is highly unfortunate, especially because I kind of need those because I really want to be able to do things with whatchamacallit, like the fairies and stuff, and then there's also the pack that involves what is it? Like the older folk stuff, and there's one that involves like some kitchen stuff as well as other things. It's a lot. It's a whole deal. And the game is not registering those as packs that I own, which is unfortunate, and I don't know how to make it register that because my current packs, apparently a person who distributes, has been distributing those, recently called it quits within the past few months. They're no longer making those packs available for download, which makes it harder for me to figure out how I'm going to be able to play certain parts of the game. That's not the correct pink. I want to use that, but that's not the right pink at all. And these are too dark. Do I go with a white pair? And I have to change this. That could work. That could work. This could also work. It's dots as well. Okay, that's pretty good. And then a purse. Purse is nice. A clutch, perhaps? It's not quite the right pink. Oh, look at that. Now that's fashion. Now that's what I call fashion. Let's change the hairstyle a little bit. I want to give her bangs. That'd be nice. This is probably the only option we have. And make her hair a little bit more reddish in tone. Doesn't have to be super red or nothing. Just a little bit redder. That's nice. That's very nice, actually. Makeup. Nothing too fanciful. That works. I think I keep using that one in particular. It's a very nice one. Goes with a lot of the skin tones and such. Shut up, 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 shut up. Oh my god, shut up. Okay. It could be worse. I could. Not going to. Okay, well that... I feel like that's firmly out of the category. I could buy all of it. Okay, well this one's not... I mean, it's just the 2 items, but they're still, you know, gonna get away half of my stuff, so that's great. Please? Please. Thank you. I've only lost one of these so far. Black Santa hat. It does remind me of the stupid Christmas anime that I watched in Discord. Back towards the end of December. Because that was... What day was that, actually? Okay, yeah, the 23rd, probably? Of December? Trying to think of... We do little watch parties on Tuesday evenings. And Avery, after party at the hotel, as there usually is. Thank you. The fastest tagger of them all. This whip out is gonna win me awards! Cool, thanks. Anywho. My shop. My shop. Going to my shop. Suppose we'll talk to you first. Good evening. I'm kinda nervous right now. You won the elite contest, right? I can't believe it's really you. Since I saw you in the contest, I've become a huge fan of yours. I'd like to trust you with my style direction. Can you make me out with that look good on me, please? I can't tell if this is bold or edgy. I'm going to make the assumption of bold, especially based on the budget. But I could, in fact, be wrong. We'll only know when she tells me that I'm wrong. No, not the soy milk jeans. I could... No, the jade tights are far too fanciful. That can't work. Oh, that's definitely a jacket and a half. Why are all the fur coats so goddamn expensive? I hate this. Why is the game like this? Okay, well, it's that type of jacket, so it's definitely gotta be bold. Primarily black and white, that'll be fun. With a pop of color. Just the teeniest, tiniest little hint of a color. Nope, those are too expensive. God, I love how everything's just so expensive. The economy is in shambles. Those ones? I do like the boots, and they're also less expensive. Oh yeah, that means I can also use this bag. That'd be fun. Yeah, no, I can't use those shoes. They also have a different color in it. That's not allowed. That's not kosher. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. It was supposed to be edgy. God dang it. Sure, whatever, fine, it's edgy. Take it or leave it. We no longer have any bold hats. That is a shame. You have to go out and buy some more bold hats. Put that on the agenda. This outfit is fantastic. I can't wait to cheer you on at your next contest. You're gonna do great. It's gonna be great. Age. Hello, new person. She's always had a good eye for design and all things artistic. Well, that's helpful to me because I'm taking a design class, and the professor apparently is super strict. Mary Jane? From Spider-Man? From Spider-Man? Spider-Man? So it is true, you really are here in their city. I saw you at the elite contest the other day. The model looked like a completely different person in your outfit. Well, you also changed the hairstyle and the art. Not the art, the makeup. I didn't read that. It's amazing how style can change people, I think, is something paraphrased. I'd like to see your work firsthand. Can you create an outfit that would look just great on me, please? I can try. Wait, I am not sure what's happening here. My first instinct is pop, but with that bag and that jacket, I'm gonna say retro. And I could be wrong. Do I even have that jacket? I don't. That skirt's coming up, so that's good. Those shoes, I think, are the same ones that are coming up. Okay, the necklace is also coming up, so that means it is in fact retro. I think we're on the right track here. Alright. I do have dresses I could use. I was gonna ask if the pants would work, but no, I think I like that better. And the question is, what do I want the top to be? I think this one's good enough. Oh, the game's really doing things. Game's not liking this. I could, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it for a morn. The shoes don't really match. Okay. White then? Red then, yep, that's definitely gonna be the way to go. Yes, that's been my background for the any game I play using my PC for at least a couple of years now. I just at the ending of one of the streams I did for A Dance of Fire and Ice, I couldn't get past the final thing. So someone would explain what the rest of the story was like at the end, and I just put a bunch of Iggy photos in the background, and they've been there ever since. Are these too much? I mean... those probably match better. I feel like those probably match better. And then a little Harlequin's shoulder bag. Yeah, that brings the blue back in. Yes! We've got it. We've got her, folks. Take her down. Take her down! Sorry, that was me pretending to be Machine Gun. Now that's a hot amount of yellow stuff in there. Which means that I'll probably be able to get the stupid, moon full. Can't believe it's really me. I look like a totally different person. I couldn't be any happier with this outfit. Thank you. You're not wearing it out, though. Hope you have a blast at the next contest. I'll certainly have a time. A blast is probably not what I would say, but I'll certainly have a time. Excuse me. It's another delivery. Go, 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 go! Oh! Got hiccup there for a second. New hairstyles and colors are now available at the hair salon, as well as new items have been added to the furniture shop. I feel like they're lying to me because last time I checked they didn't have anything new. Alright, I have to get the bold hat before I forget. I have to get the bold hat. They're very important. They're very importante. Please be open. Thank you. I had my stupid water up so like my glasses were tilted in a way that I couldn't really fully see the name, and I thought it said Zoe for a second there, but no, it says Erica, which is a completely different name. It does not look anything like that. Multiple hats. Multiple hats. Ah! Press the button. Go, 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 go. I kind of wish there was a way to, like, control, like, shift, click these, but there isn't. Just kind of gotta go, 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 go. Oh wait, hang on, I need the bag as well, because that's on sale. Boop. Alright. That hat. Let's go that hat. Definitely at least one of the fedoras. Definitely this. Probably that hat as well. That's good. Okay. That's good for now. If I need more bold stuff, then I can go and get more bold stuff later. I just wanted to make sure that I had hats. Actually, speaking of which, Zipline's open, which means I can go and get some more, sporty clothes, including potentially hats, because people keep asking me for hats. And I don't have any hats of the sporting variety, which is a dang shame. Ba-da-da-da-do. Do-do-do-do-do. You have some fun-looking jackets, for sure. Don't think I would necessarily wear them, but they're fun. Go with that. And I've seen people wear these types of fleece, like sweaters before. I haven't, though. I don't really like fleece, and I don't like these types of sweaters anyways. I'm freaky like that. Sorry. I don't like the texture of fleece. There's something about fleece that's just like, I really just dislike the texture of it. Oh. Like even fleece blankets I'm not a huge fan of. Like I somehow got a free fleece blanket last semester from like a goodie bag thing. From some sort of event I went to. I don't remember what. But like I just was not... I did not want it, so it's now just sitting underneath the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree has not been taken down yet. It's just sitting underneath the Christmas tree because I don't really want it. I don't even know if I need more than like one of each of these, you know? Because I'm not getting a whole lot of people who want sporty stuff. But we might as well get a couple of things that could potentially be used for other outfits. Multiple up here, that is to say. These, and the hats, of course, because people want the stupid hats. Wow, how did I just lose half of my money? Alright. Do I want to check? We'll check it. But I'm not gonna buy anything because it's all $999. $990. Oh, they got the cheerleader outfit today, as well as the maid. Oh, you're kidding me. I mean, I could. Seriously? Screw it, I'm buying it. I won't be able to buy the little booty pumpkin shorts, but I can buy this. Because that's fun. Anyways, there goes all my money now. $25.30. Insane prices. Oh, it's daytime already. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ruh-roh. Hello. Click. Click, click. Ooh, nice one. Alright, we're getting some great photos. Oh, Junko! There's something captivating about the park in the winter, isn't there? I've been obsessively taking photos for about 2 hours already. Taking a break right now, but I still want to take more pictures. Okay, time to go. After I take more photos. I know, let's take a photo to mark the occasion. Hooray! Yippee! Yay! Hooray! God dang it. My dad's asking about food. Thanks so much for the other day, by the way. You mean yesterday? You mean last night? I told all my girlfriends about your boutique, so expect company soon. She's lesbian and polyamorous. Sorry. I'll be sticking my head in the door too, so don't worry. Bye for now. My dad's asking what people want for dinner. He's heading back home now. Great. Oh no, he's just saying that he's at the grocery store getting some food on the way back. Got it. That's not where I want to go! I want to go to the furniture store! I want to go to Raymore and Flanagan! Is that a thing outside of, like, New York? I'm assuming it's not. In a similar sense that Tops is not a thing outside of New York, I don't think Raymore and Flanagan is. Ready to hear some exciting news? We've expanded our stock room. We have more items in stock than ever before. So many choices. Enough to decorate a million interiors, so please look around and see if anything catches your eye. Did you actually restock things? You did! Just pure color. Your options are seafoam green or salmon pink. Those are your only two options. Great, thanks. Thanks, man. Black! Yes! And red! Oh, that's perfect. And then we have two-tone. Sweet Princess. Oh, I cannot afford any of these right now. That's cool. And then we have Checkered, which looks like gingham to me, but that's okay. I mean, yeah, no, I can't even afford that. That's great. That's fantastic, dude. Fun friends. Oy. Okay, exotic it says, but they mean boho chic. They have girly, and then they have funky furniture. Okay. That's definitely some sort of millennials, I was gonna say wet dream, but that sounds weird. Some sort of millennials fantasy. A woman in her mid-30s type of aesthetic going on there. It's not necessarily a bad aesthetic. To each their own. Might not necessarily be for me, though. Actually, yeah, no, we have the stripes now. Did we have the stripes before? I don't think we had the stripes before, did we? Oh no, we did have the stripes before. But we didn't have the armchairs. Hello. Nice. Yes, good. Mint choco chip. Howdy. I'm currently doing. Neither not really good or bad. Today's been kind of a day, mentally wise. But this takes the mind off of everything that's been going on this week. There's been just so much going on this week. Oh, we have these new ones as well. That's the little wood seat. That's fun. Look at these. Wow. You can get it in plaid. Or polka dot. Or strippity stripes. I have to check what the heck I have back. I have gotten back at the house. I don't know how to speak English, and the way that I speak English technically isn't correct, probably by most scholar standards. That's a fun one. I can afford this couch anyways. The sofa is off sale for me. It is not for sale for me. We got more plaid. That's fun. I'm doing this, and I do realize I do have to still do some homework. That's a lot of doing. I do have a lot of homework that I gotta... Well, not a lot, but there's readings that I probably should be doing. But I also have to... Because I've been in a design class, I have to do art projects, which is fascinating. But the first big project that we got going on is a heart-shaped pillow. Oh, that's perfect for someone like little old me. Green and brown is such a weird combo. Same with pink and green. That feels vomity a little bit. Just a little bit vomity. Just a tad bit. But I have to do, I have to, design an app icon that represents me. That's what the project is? And that's, I don't really know what I would put down. Like, my professor, was saying, your hobbies don't really necessarily define who you are. I am an artist, sure, but, I don't really know how to put that into any sort of good user perspective. I don't really know how I would put that down. What would constitute as being me. Let's get this one for right now. Let's just get that for now, and then we'll look at the other things. Just a little looks around, a little looky-loo. Not actually gonna buy anything, but check it around. That's neat. That's an option. Oh, that's definitely we definitely gotta get that, because that reminds me of the stupid flooring on the first floor in the Hope Speak Academy. Yeah, we gotta get that. Oi. And we have oval, two-toned oval. That's fun. As well as striped. So we didn't have oval before. So that's new. Lots of options. Lots of fantabulous options. Wow, look at that. Next doing things. And then more squared. We got checkered stuff. Oh, more curtains. That's good. Yeah, it's a lot that we just unlocked somehow. Can you believe that the game technically calls itself over, 7 updates ago? 7 stupid fashion shows ago? Insane. Insane behavior that does. And it's just a checkered carpet. I would buy it, but it's $680 and I don't have that kind of money. I could actually get the carpet, but no, I can't actually. That's nice. That's nice. This does remind me that I want to try doing some more of that Animal Crossing stuff. I did do the VIP room, but just barely. I wasn't really paying attention and didn't really care. who I had as options for the rooms. Oh my god, I have to get that canopy. That's perfect. It's $795. Alright, we'll come back to it. Not that I'm gonna necessarily remember. 4-poster princess versus luxury. Oh, look at that. Alright. No, I didn't want to add that to my cart. I just wanted to go to the cart. I hate that you do this. I hate that it does this. Alright, that's another half of my money gone. Whoa, that was quite the transition. Fix things later. And then it was the hair salon because they got new hairstyles. Although this does mean that my dad's coming home, which does also mean that the stream's probably gonna start cutting out again soon. I'm gonna hit the record button now, just in case. Oh! I forgot about this hairstyle, it's cute. I haven't had any dropped frames yet, knock on wood. Scoop it up, boop. Okay, and then this is the side ponytail here. I'm not really huge on the blunt fringe bangs. Not really huge on that, no. Okay, low ponytails, that could work. We could go with that for now. It's cute. It works. I think they have new colors as well. They do. I'm not going to use these, of course, but we're styling. We're making it happen. We're doing it, man. We're making it happen. I skipped over orange. Okay, that's it. They literally only just gave us yellow and blue. Cool. Thanks, game. We'll just go with that then. Just the hairstyle change. That's fine. I mean, it wasn't as if I was going to change the color anyways, but still. I would say it looks similar to how her hair looks in the book, the Danganronpa Zero, but it doesn't really. Oh, is this the guy she was talking about, or is this somebody else? Ethan. Hello, I am Ethan, if you please. Hello, I am Ethan, if you please. I am a stranger to this country, but I just made this city my home. And you must be Junko, am I correct? I have heard rumors of you in your boutique. Indeed, since being here, I've heard many speak of your performance in the recent contest. Forgive me, I'm forgetting my manners. Let me explain why I've come from so far away. He's probably supposed to be American in the original version because he's blonde. And I think he has blue eyes. It's Ethan from Foreign Nation. I have a great passion in life, but my family, they had a more distinguished life laid out for me. So I've come here to leave as I choose. It was a foolhardy decision, but time would tell if it was correct. Well, Junko, it is time for me to leave. I have much to do to start my new life here. But where to begin? I admit that I am a little frightened, but I am also excited to see where this adventure leads me. I don't know where this accent is going. My dream, I will follow it no matter what. Yoo-hoo! Because I'm a blowout! She sprinkles hot sauce on everything to kick up the flavor. Kick it up! Marie! From Splatoon. The first one. Good evening. I have something to tell you. An old friend of mine works as a chef. Cool. In fact, she's the head chef in the restaurant attached to the hotel near her. Oh, okay. I helped to devise one of their special winter menus. Imagine that! Menu that I created being used in a fancy hotel. Just imagine it! Imagine fashion, even. For the Nintendo DS. It's a set of courses based around a special winter stew. It's a limited menu and is only available for one day. It's available tomorrow only. Cheese and crackers. I'm going along. Would you like to come with me? I just wanted to tell you about that. Talk to you soon. Okay. I've done 0 dressing up people today. Great. We're gonna leave now, because we have to do other things now. We have plot to do. Yep, okay, I figured you were gonna make a studio person. Good day, it's nice to see you, Junko. I'm so glad you've come. I have wonderful news. You will be the first to hear it. I have decided that I want to work here. Does it seem odd, someone with my background working in a place such as this? Please consider. This is an opportunity I would never have. Never be able to pursue in my homeland. My dream. It's here. At last. My passion and talent will not be wasted. Here I will devote myself to my life's purpose. It should be a brilliant makeup artist, you see. My makeup will transform every young lady in town to a great beauty. I possess the ability to change a wand. A wand? Wand? Wand. I don't know how to pronounce that because it's different from Wayne. Tired face into the luminous one of a duchess. It is a small gift, but it's mine. And if you wish, you do not have to just take my word for it, Junko. You have to try it yourself. Seeing is believing. Come right this way if you please. Please check in with his receptionist, and I will demonstrate why I'm willing to give up my past life. So what? I couldn't quite gather what he does exactly, because all of them do colorful kaleidoscope styles. Oh, okay. So I was right to give him the Scandinavian-ish accent. Gotcha. I will not be going for that, but thank you regardless. I always love how the little character walks. We're on a mission. That's what that walk is. And we're back. We'll get at least one, if not two more done. We should probably be able to get 2 more done, given the rate at which we're going. An edgy outfit that rocks the house. Rocks the cast bar. Rocks the cast bar. I really like it. Rocks the cast bar. Rocks the all of you I've done something with. God dang it. The only one I haven't won with is Alice, who is the one that I lost the contest with, so let's take her in for round 2. Let's go. Let's try it out. Alright, do your own thing, an edgy outfit that rocks the house. I'll try my best. Yeah, I really gotta go to Trader Joe's tomorrow to get my 1.5 liter water, because the bottle is, it's starting to die a little bit. That's how I'll put it. It's starting to die a little bit. It gets all crinkly and stuff, you know, after you have a water bottle, a plastic water bottle around for a while. What do I want? Yellow? I don't actually know how that Coldplay song goes. Everybody talks about it, but like I think I've only heard it maybe once in my life. R. Oh, that's fun. But that one's yellow. Could be. Oh. This is a different. Oh, god dang, it's orange. Is that one yellow? Yeah, okay, cool. That's good. We've got matchy stuff happening here. That'll work. That's the ticket. And then we gotta have the kitty cat hat. Cap? Couldn't fit it through me saying it. Didn't work. I tried, it didn't work. Collar? For a kitty cat? And a dance, and a dance. This is exactly what I wanted. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes! Banana yellow colored looking boots. Those are banana peels. You've just put banana peels on your feet. Oh, Lord. What layers do we have? We have the black boots. Do I like that better? The white ones? Ooh. Okay, that's got like more reddish in there. I think I like these ones best. But the banana peel boots are definitely... That's definitely going up there in one of the top 10 worst things that you could put on your feet. For sure. Somebody will like it out there, not me. Alright, we gotta change the hairstyle. That is not punk enough at all. Go, 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 go. I don't know what we're going with though. Long? Yeah, it could work. If you want to look like a banana, that's your decision. I cannot stop you from looking like a banana. It's just not for me. Oh, this is really giving Avril Lavigne from the mid-2000s vibes going on here. Oh boy. Golden brown? Ooh. Oh yeah, it is like technically a berry. But like nobody says it's a berry. I don't really know like where the seeds in the banana are though, per se. Like they're kind of like in the seam or something like that. Something weird like that, something funky. Let's just go with this, that's fine. That looks good. I've made Avril Lavigne. And that's just how we roll in these towns. None of these have yellow to them. That's fine. That one does, but it has purple lips, which is a little concerning. But the purple going in there might not be good. Oh, I don't know Banana Zoof. I don't remember that song from Class of 3000. One of the only things I remember from Class of 3000 is that they called alicorns pegacorns, and that's the only reason why I only ever call like the My Little Pony princesses pegacorns. They're alicorns, but I call them pegacorns because that one like redhead nerd kid in that show called them that. All right, come on. I can't really play Skater Boy. I'll get copyright struck. No natural banana tree and they're grafted onto other trees. Yeah, bananas are genetic freaks. They're not normal. And that's why they're gonna fight, whatever that guy's name Joe is at Sacrifice. But like, bananas, like, this is the thing that's also in Balatro, is that, like, they made bananas, they, like, made a banana go extinct to make our current bananas. So, like, the bananas that we have, like the banana flavoring that we have nowadays. Oh, I didn't have that before for some reason. Okay. The banana flavoring that we have in like Laffy Taffy and stuff nowadays is not the same flavor, like at all, as the bananas that we have, because it's based off bananas that we had 60-ish years ago or something, but are now extinct. Like the dodo bird, except you don't eat dodo birds. People probably did eat dodo birds into extinction, I assume. If not, at least hunted them for sport. What is even happening with this outfit here? Like, in a way it's neat, but like, I don't even know what's happening there. That's just it's just wild. It's real wild. Anyways, I got gloves now. I don't know how full to completion my Santa outfit is. I mean, it probably tasted good. Any bird that I've had so far, it's tasted good. Never had geese, though. That's a bird I haven't had from the... Never had ducks, either. I've only really had chicken and turkey so far in my life. But I do prefer bird meat over, like, red meat, for the most part. Like, I'm not a huge fan of beef, not a huge fan of, pig. Any sort of ham or anything. You know what? She is a banana. She's a very bruised banana, but people like that because she's rough and edgy. Grant you a late contest win. You must use all sweet victory now. Whenever you compete, I can't help but feel sorry for the other stylists. Lord. Especially part of the fashion elite. Read that one before. There's one that I haven't read fully yet, and I don't remember which one it is. Let's at least do one. Let's at least do one little fashion thing. Because nobody's given me a little job to do. Peter, you came here yesterday. We're going to talk to you now. He looks like a very average Joe. Like the most stereotypical white guy you ever did see. Needs sleep. Oh hey, wow, you're working late, aren't you? I know the feeling. Just got word of an urgent deadline that needs to be hit. This guy has a YouTube channel. I'm trying to think of like a silly like YouTuber gaming channel name, gaming review channel name, but I can't think of one right now. I popped into town for a break, try to clear my head a bit, but now that I'm here, can I get some pants and shirt, please? It's gonna be another all-nighter for me, I just know it. No, I'm not sure what his style is. I'm going to guess with the pants and the, Skiz the Whiz. Yeah, I was trying not to say that he looks like Scott the Woz, but he kind of does look like Scott the Woz. I'm gonna assume that he has a contemporary style. The funny thing, you say that, one of the people I've been watching recently that's, like, just a whole heaping spaghetti pile of, Minecraft YouTubers. There's like at least 40 that I've discovered within the last, probably 50 within the last, 3 months or so. One of them is named Skizzle Man, and he goes by Skiz, so that just made me think of that. Alright, I just need a shirt. Okay, but that might just... Does he mean a shirt, or does he mean like a layer? I think he means a shirt. Oh, I think my dad's home. Hang on. Yeah, I think he's home. Okay, so there isn't shirt as an option here. In some of the categories, it is like an option for me to... Oh no, there is shirt. There it is. Okay, 1 second. I gotta tell my mom that my dad's home. Cause she's off, she's out, she's in the city. She's over in New York City, sort of, kind of, for this weekend. Cause she's visiting a friend who's gonna move away soon. I keep drawing myself to the yellow ones. I'm just gonna go with the one that's most expensive so that I can lose money fast. Or gain money fast, rather. And then, boop. And then pants. No, God. Pants. Reset it. It gives me nothing for pants. In the other games, they're known as trousers because it's, the game's fastest when they're known as trousers because they, they only use the international localization, not the, I think international. They use the UK and, Australian localization rather than the American. Like, you don't have an American localization for this. They did a similar thing with Professor Layton. At a certain point, down the line in the series, they just decided to stop localizing it for America and just use the British and Australian localization for some reason. So there's a lot of words that I learned in my teenage years because of that. Because they just stopped localizing it for America. They stopped releasing like physical copies in America for certain 3DS games too. Okay, I think that's good. What do you think? It's simple. God dang it! You want a basic outfit. I gave him contemporary with Paisley. I think that's Paisley? Is that Paisley? That might be Paisley. Oh my god, I'm gonna run out of water. Boo, boo, boo. I mean, yeah. I mean, in Australia they do. I don't feel like they use that word as often in the UK. It's like more so the one for the UK. It's like the Nintendo of Europe, I think, localization rather than like the Nintendo for America is what it is. I'm trying to pick if they use that word in Taskmaster is why I'm like hesitating here. These are great, I love them. A couple of excellent purchases indeed. This will give me the boost I need to meet my deadline. Feeling a lot more positive now, thanks to you. See ya! Trevor. Gina, Kara, she was here earlier, so let's talk to you. This is the shop that everyone's saying great things about, isn't it? Oh, I'm getting a tad emotional about this. It's just so exciting. Actually, now I'm thinking about there's an Australian Taskmaster. I need to specify that I'm meaning the UK one. They definitely say in the Australian one. For sure. I can't believe I came across this place by pure chance. I have butterflies in my tummy now, but I'd like to ask you to help me. Can you please find me some cool edgy pants? I'm still upset that they haven't like released the 5th season of the Australian one yet. It's been like over a year and they haven't like released that yet. Started watching some of the Australia on with a friend. Yeah, I heard that the Taskmaster for that one he's not a great guy, per se. I find him funny, but like, I also probably find a lot of like Family Guy and American Dad funny when I feel bad for doing so. But I do like the assistant. I do like, what is it? Lesser Tom. They need a translation for some of the colloquialisms. Yeah, there's a lot of different colloquialisms that I don't know. A lot of different cultural things that I don't know. And each of the Taskmasters, the only American version that we have is like, it was very butchered, so I've never actually watched it. But it would be interesting if they ever had like a Taskmaster here again. Cause they just had the shows not this past weekend, but like sometime this past week? In like NYC. And Jason Mantzoukas was on there again. Yes, these are exactly the kind of pants I was looking for. This is just my lucky day. If you aren't aware, Jason Mantzoukas is, he was on... Good something. What is it? Good something. Good something. What is it called? What is that show called? I want to say Good Life, or Good Word, but that's not it. The Good Place. He was on The Good Place. And he was also on, yes, Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. How may I help you? He was on The Good Place as one of the reoccurring characters. Alright, let's get out of here. But he was also on Taskmaster Series 19, so... And he was very chaotic. He was trying to bring in a very, like, obnoxious American energy to the UK show. And that's probably now I don't know if it's my second favorite Taskmaster series from the UK, but it's either second or third. Don't know. My favorite one involved is the one that has Sue Perkins in it, who used to be one of the hosts for the Great British Bake Off like 10 years ago. She's funny. There's a lot of like UK like comedians that I don't know because I'm not, first of all, I'm not British. Second of all, I don't really pay attention to pop culture stuff that much. Outside of like the niches of anime and video games. Odds and ends. But like, it's interesting getting to see like some of these celebrities that I don't know, and like some of the American ones that have been on the show and are going to come onto the show are like, for me, I would call them C-list celebrities because in terms of like fame, not necessarily like their actual their actual comedic talent, just like fame level. I'm not gonna read that. A lot of what I watch is otherwise very niche in America, that's for sure. Do I want to change the outfit? I kind of want to change the outfit. Do I have the full Santa outfit? I don't think I do, but we'll check. Teatro Mare. Teatro Mare. Do I have it? No, I don't have the skirt. I have the gloves and the shoes and the hat and the shirt, but not the skirt. The skirt's probably the next thing I'm gonna get. Alright, we're gonna do one more contest and then we're gonna call it for today. What do I need from the Bio Center? I don't know. So we're just gonna go to the shop and wait until it's daytime because I have a thing going on at the daytime. Gordon! Just the most nerdiest guy you've ever seen. And Daisy, who's the flower shop owner. Talk to you first, then. Hello, it's me again. You know how when you're trying to concentrate and some other random thought keeps popping up? That's called ADHD, always, forever. I keep thinking about that awesome outfit you designed for me. I can't get it out of my brain. So I thought I'd get another one so I can move on. I don't really have a whole lot of... Okay. I don't have a whole lot of, like, what is it? Peppy stuff for you. I was gonna say nerdy, but that's a little bit rude. I don't have a lot of nerdy stuff to fully form an outfit, I don't think. Okay, maybe I do. But I don't know if it's enough, if you'll have enough money for it, because some of it involves the expensive brand. Why does that cost less than this? This isn't even the expensive brand. What are you talking about? Why do the work boots cost $228? What economy are we living in? Insane. And this is why men don't get into fashion. Or something. Do. Funny jacket. And now we're slightly almost over budget. That's great. Oh, if I do that, then I can have the purple pants. Hey, it's the wrong purple. Uh-oh. But I can still salvage this. Oh, yes, that's good. Can I get a tie? Oh. Red bow tie. He doesn't actually have the red bow tie on, so we're good. Yes, $126 glasses. That price is actually probably accurate. Though I go to America's Best, which is like one of those chain types to get my glasses. So like I get 2 pairs for like $60 or whatever. Or something. I forget what it is. That good? Is this Poindexter enough? That's too much. And socks. Can you even see them? Just barely. We're gonna go no socks then. This man does not get socks today. My throat is hurting, but that might just be because I have not talked this long since Monday. This is actually somewhat decent, aside from the circle glasses. This would be a respectable outfit on Jeopardy! That's another TV show I watch that most people probably don't, is Jeopardy. I'm not able to watch it very often though because God forbid I have cable at my apartment. I have to pay for that. I have to cough up some dough to get that. Just look at all the stamps! I love collecting things. Of course you do. My brain knew exactly what it was talking about, evidently. This is exactly the kind of outfit I should be wearing. How did you get it so perfect? I'll have to tell my friends about this place. See you again next time! Pair of glasses. Taking ordering glasses online. Actually the only one we haven't been able to find. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I've never ordered glasses online before. I've only ever gone to the optometrist? I think it's optometrist? Yeah, I've only ever gone to one of those. Oh, it's a new person. We gotta take her order. She takes full baths with a rubber ducky before bedtime. Ain't that cute? I can only sometimes answer the questions because sometimes I know stuff. And even occasionally they'll have anime and video game categories. I haven't had a whole lot of motivation recently. I need some inspiration. Faith is a good name. I like that name. It's a good name. But no matter where I look, nothing ever really jumps out at me. Sure, you can help me out, right? Like a base layer and some pants. She's also preppy. We're only doing preppy. No, wait, is it preppy? Oh, it might not be preppy. That looks... It's either more girly or more feminine. I can't tell. We're gonna go girly, and hopefully that'll be okay. It's just on base layer, for God's sake. Did that scratch on? Yeah, that tends to happen. My glasses, I don't really clean them very well, or hardly at all, so I often have various debris and smudges on them. So, I mean, they work. And I've never had contacts before or anything, but... Why is her budget so high, though? That's the concerning part. Why is her budget so high? Let's go with this shirt and then pants. Capris? Capris? That doesn't match. Please tell me you like this. Yeah, that looks... Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay, no, it's sophisticated. Sophisticated. She wanted feminine. She wanted feminine. I went safe. We got it. We got it. It's as though you designed these items to go with each other. Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. That's how fashion usually tends to work. Despite my own lack of fashion in real life. Sophisticated. Yeah, that's gotta be feminine. Just got a text. Okay. Oh, I thought I got a text. That was Pink going live. Pink Heart on twitch.tv/pinkheart.com. Yeah, that's it. You picked the best clothing for me. I bet I'll be back soon. See you later, alright? Is Daisy still here? Daisy? She's still here! Alright. Hi, your shop is really close to where I work, but I didn't think of coming to say hi until now. Wow, this place is super stylish. My brother gave me some money and told me to go spend it on myself, so here I am. I think I want to spend my money right now. Right here, rather. I have a feeling that spending it in your shop will make me really happy. My brother says I'm really gifted. I can just tell how things are going to turn out sometimes. I want a skirt that's just right for me. Oh, maybe one day I can tell you how things are going to work out for you. If my brother was here, he'd say that I should do that for you since you're using your skill to help me. So I will. It would be so much fun. And she's definitely got a girly outfit going on, because that is what is associated with flowers. I can speak. I swear to God, I can speak. Words. Made them up. I could go for the really expensive one and then get a lot of money. I'm just gonna go with this one, that's fine. Very refined. It came up in the girly stuff! It came up when I typed in girly, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It came up in the... Oh. Sure, whatever, fine. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you're like boho chic. For God's sake. It was boho chic after all. How I cannot tell that whatsoever from her outfit. Not even close to telling that. Whatever, it's fine. I will not remember that for next time. See, it's just like I said, coming here has made you really happy. You have such a great shop. I think having your shop here is going to bring good things to a lot of people. Oh, but I'm going over to the cake shop after this. I'm really looking forward to it. The cakes there are just magical. If you're free, you should come too. Oh, I have to be there at night, not day. You really should. Bye! Trisha. I have to go places. Excuse me, I have to be somewhere. Cake shop. Welcome, come on in. Hi, I'm back from our cake today. You're a very loyal customer, thank you. I can't help it, your desserts are the very best. Hi there, I'm so happy you're here. She's just so tiny. She's just so small. How does this happen? How do people get this small? So which desserts would you suggest here? Is there one that you think is the tastiest? I know my favorite without even thinking about it. The answer is cheesecake. I don't like when cake is really hard. I like it to be soft and creamy. Yum! That's why cheesecake is the best. I like it topped with strawberries or chocolate, or even both. The first bite is always my favorite. You forget how delicious it is until that bite. There's just something special about cheesecake. It makes me smile every time I have it. I don't even have to eat it for it to make me smile. I'm smiling now just from thinking about it. Smile, smile, happy cheesecake smile. None of that's cheesecake, but sure, go ahead. Oh, that really hit the spot, didn't it? Thank you so much for coming with me today. I had a lot of fun. Oh, and I thought of the perfect way to say thank you. Listen to this. I'll tell all our customers at the flower stand about you. Don't you think that's a great idea? Then even more people will come to your shop. I'll tell them to go to the shop with the most stylish manager ever. Thanks. Do I need to go buy something? I don't think I need to go buy something. We're back. I think I was close to sneezing. Billy's been here longest. Not Billy in chat, but Billy here. A lot of people say that I look boring, and I'm starting to think they're right. I started thinking on it, and I think the main problem is my clothes. Your clothes are... there's a lot going on with them. So I really want to mix it up with a bold top. You have anything like that? Probably. Probably, I don't know. Okay, here we go. No, it's $10 too much. Funny Hawaiian shirt. Let's go with one that you can actually wear without a top underneath. That's fine. Actually, hang on. I'm not gonna sell a lot of these. I know I'm not. Alright, that works. Nice. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to bring my fellas on here. I'm actually back at home, so my my plushies are on the desk today. Just note that Bidoof and Sig are both here. Both Bidoof and Sig are in fact on my desk. You cannot see them. I don't have them represented on the stream, but that's okay. Now you know. Thanks for letting me buy this top from you. I dare anyone to call me plain looking now. I was going to make a sexual joke, and we're going to stop right there. Alright. Keith. Birdie. Go with Trisha. Shop is pretty famous now, isn't it? I overheard some really fashionable girls talking about this place. I expected you're not just a run-of-the-mill kind of person, are you, Junko? Nope. Ultimate fashionista. That's the impression you give anyway. Today I'd like a punk kind of casual dress. Do you have any? As a matter of fact, I do. We just got one this morning. Not this morning, but you know. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna try it on. Hooray! I don't think I'm looking forward to just reading textbooks tonight and tomorrow. Not really looking forward to that too much. But I probably should. I got a lot of work I'm gonna have on my plate. I'm taking a law course as well as a course involving being on a team of people. From the same professor last semester who gave me a lot of trouble in that, she really piles on the workload, and it's hard to keep up. Just looking at it makes me feel like I could take on the world. Hooray! Oh, first visit, yay! She exercises before bedtime to help herself fall asleep. Okay, Suzette. As opposed to Suzanne or Susie. Suzette. Which is... that's very weird that we both have Suzette and Nicolette. I'll do my best with my studies. I say this because I have two aunts, my dad's sisters who are, both, Susie and Nikki, so that's very weird and concerning. If the third sister's name comes up here, then I'm gonna be really concerned. I love trying new things. If I see something and don't try it out, I just get depressed. Today I'd like to try out bold-looking clothes. Oh, and not gothic. Alright. Could you help make that style work for me? I don't think I can do it without you. Like a bold outfit, please. Sure. I do have that in spades. I think that's the saying. That's a fun dress, but I don't know if it'll work with anything. We'll try our best with it, though. Definitely can't use that jacket. Okay. Restyled jeans. The orangey jeans. Let's use the regular one so that we get a different color going on. I try to make sure that there's at least like 3 different colors going on in each outfit. Oh, it's a matchy-matchy. That's nice. Can't use those shoes. Ba-ba-da-da-do. Ba-ba-da-do. Ba-ba-da-da-do. Keep-be-boo-da-da-do. And a matching bag. That might be a little bit too much. Headband? No. Glasses? Okay, the glasses with the print on them could work. Because then it's more subtle. It's a little bit more subtle. Now we just have the one thing with the blue on it, so... I don't really have black jeans that go with it, though. I want to change the jacket. Oh! Oh, that could work, actually. That could work a lot. It's not quite... Okay. Maybe that instead? It has a little bit of purple in there, but it's mostly blue, so it's probably fine. I hope you like it. Wow, it's cool. Hooray! So glad it suits me. Actually, I was kind of nervous about it, but it works for me and my makeup as well. Really? All these bold clothes should have a positive effect on my personality. I gained so much insight today. Thank you so much. First visit. She makes and sells her own cheeses at her dairy farm. I keep forgetting that that New York State is like apparently famous for dairy. I usually think of it as famous for apple orchards, but it's also famous for dairy somehow, some way. Just like this, I don't look like much of a rocker, do I? Tilly. I am rock and roll through and through, though. Sometimes I barely get any sleep because I'm spending too much time honing my guitar skills. Fortunately, such dedication means I don't have time for fashion. Really appreciate it if you could help me out. I like an outfit that would make me look more like the girl I am. I want to look like a rock star. We're throwing away all the boho chic. We're going straight for the edge. Ow, the edge. That shirt has, that shirt has red on it. God dang it. What is happening with this t-shirt? I do not remember that t-shirt at all. But what I can do is put on this one. That's too expensive. Never mind then. Do 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 do. Do do do. Put that one on though. This could work. And then kitty? Kitty. No, that doesn't work either. Wolfger girl varsity jacket. It's the purples that aren't matching. It's driving me insane. Do-do. Do-do-do. These pants are driving me up a wall. They become period pieces. Oh, I guess I kind of do. Just by virtue of being based off the current times and fashion. But the current times and fashion do change. So the clothes here are very much so early to mid 2010s vibes, but nowadays they're slightly dated, I guess. That could work. That could in fact work. Do we want to go with a hat? That's a little bit too bright, so no. We can give her a funny little briefcase though. Give her a little briefcase. That's fun. Wow. Everybody's changing their exact fashion styles. I have to put this in the recycling. My water bottle. I mean, hang on. It did not crunch very well. If that jump scared the lurkers, I am not sorry. I did intentionally move that away from the mic, but I know it was gonna pick up on the mic anyways. Thanks so much. This outfit has unleashed my true self. I am edgy. I'm going to break things. All the things. Heavy animal print. Definitely would have seen a mom at TJ Maxx dressed like that 15 years ago. I mean, animal print makes me think of early 2000 stuff, which is, you know, 20 plus years ago. New person. She loves horror movies that she can laugh at, so most of them. Thinking animal print, I think of like the sort of spiky haircut that moms had in the early 2000s. Nana, I'm on a massive shopping spree right now. Do you ever get that? When you don't buy clothes for ages and then suddenly that's all you seem to be doing? Well, seeing as I'm on a roll, could you help me find an outfit that can match my base layer? Sure, I believe it's boho chic, so hopefully I can. Like my parents aren't really the fashion type of people, especially my mom. She likes to wear things that are comfy and that's about it. Not that she's like gonna wear something that looks bad necessarily, just that she prefers to wear things for comfort rather than any sort of fashion reasons. And I'm sort of similar in that way, because clothes are expensive. And as much as I would like to be fashionable, it's a lot easier to just have comfy clothes on. That's good. That adds a little bit of more variety to it, I think. Yeah, that's good. Sick. But there's also the fact that, like, I think about that spiky hairstyle in particular from way back when. Definitely, oh my god, the afro, hello. Wasn't expecting that to pop out. Hello, afro. It's because she has hair like that. Not an afro per se, but she has black people hair, and she's not one of those ladies that, like, is obsessive over their hair, so she just pins it back. She can't really do that sort of hairstyle with her hair. This outfit is the outfit of my dreams. You seem to know what I like even more than I do. I hope you're around to help me out next time. I was going to put something on the mannequin, but new people just keep coming in. Alright, let's put something on the mannequin now. Nobody's new. We're putting something on the mannequin. Go, 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 go! Alright, let me see which one has more of. Do I have more of princess or gothic? Probably more princess than gothic. But let us check regardless. Yes, so we'll go princess. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that could still work. Granted, that'll be covered if I do that, though. It'll get rid of it, but it'll be covered now. It's time to slay! We're sweeping all the floors. That might not be the dress. That might not be the dress. Do I go that? No, it has enough white there. I think that'll be fine. I'm adding a lot of white accents to this. This is gonna be a disaster when we get to the shoes part, and it is. Great. There we go. Now we're matching. Good, good, good. Alright, so this should be the last one, then we have the little thingy that's happening at the night, and then the fashion show, and then we should be done. I do try to stay close, relatively close to 2 hours long a stream, because I only have so much energy. And I can only sit down, for so long. You can remove the hair. I don't think I ever realized this. You can just remove the hair. Oh. We're not doing that. We'll actually give her hair. Don't you worry about that. She will have hair. And then, oh no, it's more blue-green, isn't it? That. And then the highlights can be... We don't have white for some reason. We still don't have white this far into the game. So instead, we'll make them the pink color. Transgender. That's fine. She's already in a good pose, that's fine. Carol. And Tuesday. New person. She rides the bus to work to have more time to read. I ride the bus because I don't have a license. Suze. What is happening? There were 2 Suzes. I have noticed something. The more clothes you have, the better. That depends on if you have the space for them. I don't. Means you have lots to work with when putting together outfits. Today I was hoping to get a new base layer and a casual dress. I hope you can help me. I don't quite know what your fashion is. I think it's retro. I'm gonna go with retro, and if it's wrong, then that's on me. Oh, you know what? I don't see that in there. It's probably pop then. And getting rid of that. Reset that, please. Let me see. Okay, I don't see star tights. I don't see that, but I do see this particular jacket, which I know for a fact is, pop. What counts as a casual dress? I'm struggling a lot with this one. Uh-oh. Casual dress. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Do do do. Do do do. Uh-oh. Do 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 do. I'm gonna hope that's pop. Reset. Reset. Cause I swear to God, if it's anything else, I'm going to scream. Have a funny little shirt. You know, that kind of does match. Those kind of go together. Please? Oh, thank God. Pop and retro are very similar, and that's not very helpful. Sick. Alright, cool. Get me out of here. Wow, this is the best fashion combo I've ever seen. Combo, not convo. I'm glad I trusted you. Can I come to you again next time? Please say yes. Sure. Magdalena. Delena? Delena, probably. She talks to her plants in her garden when she feels stressed. I need to talk to you. The outfit on the mannequin is exactly to my taste. I really love the princess look. I know I want to buy it already, but I think I want to try it on first, just to be sure. Thank you so much. I'll go and try it on right away. There we go. Yes, just as I thought. This is a good buy. I love buying clothes in the winter. I can't wait to see your next outfit. No. Is it nighttime yet? Yes, finally. Excuse me, boys. Time for me to go out in town. Hotel. Good evening. Nice to see you. I snuck out to get a bite to eat, but I'm also a little curious to see the customers' reactions. But everyone seems pretty happy, so I can breathe a sigh of relief. And with that out of the way, it's time to eat. I'm totally famished, so let's not waste any time. Speaking of, my dad's probably making dinner right now. Let me know if you need me to explain anything on the menu. The stew is delicious if I do say so myself. The secret is, bouillon, I think. Made of 2 kinds of meat and 15 different vegetables. No, I can't tell you which ones. Didn't I say it was a secret? From here, everyone seems to be really enjoying their food. Are there even 15 vegetables out there? I asked that, there probably are. There are most likely more than 15 vegetables out there. It just seems like a lot. That makes me so happy. And getting to share a meal with you is just the icing on the cake. It is funny how, talking about stew earlier with folks, and this event is happening about stew. Well, I hope you don't find me boastful, but this winter's stew, it's simply delicious. I feel like I should thank you for coming by today. The least I can do is tell all my friends about your boutique. Okay, bye for now. Getting in there, get in there, get in there, get in there. A pop outfit with a Japanese flair. Uh-oh. I will do my best. And everyone except you? Yep, everyone except you, Brienne. With my style and your outfits, there's nothing that can stand in our way to fame and glory. Pop outfit with Japanese flair. Good evening. Far Eastern fun. This one trips up people a lot. Yeah, I'm kinda a bit iffy about this. I don't think I actually have any kimonos currently. But the game might give me one. Please give me a kimono? Okay. No, that's fine. Probably gonna fail this one then. Have to buy stupid kimonos at the place. For now, we'll just make a pop outfit and do with that what we will. I mean, I haven't really gone to the Japanese style store, so it makes sense that I don't have any, but it's still a bit disappointing. Hot pants. Well, if I do one of these pants, then I can do a little something down here. That don't look right. That's a little bit better. Give you a hint if you want, if you don't win. I appreciate that, but I can probably figure it out fine enough. It doesn't seem too challenging. I just don't think I have the clothes for it, is all. I more than likely don't have the clothes for it. Which one should I use for that? I use the pink ones. Alright. Oh, that's good. Yes. Let's go with the purple. Does it blend in too much? It's probably fine. whatever. Whatever happens, happens. We're changing her hairstyle. It can be short, but we're changing it, regardless. And then... Nope. Definitely not. Nope. We're just kind of doing whatever now. Cause I'm just taking this as a failure, even without like having gone through with it. So I'm not going to remember to buy a kimono the next time I play this, for sure. Start now. Well, that's not even close to what was required of you. She doesn't even have pants on. Oi! I'm wearing some of those things. How dare you? How dare you mock me like this? I'll buy those, just so I have them. None of us are really close. Really, was the thing though. And we won! Sure. Yeah, no, why not? Yeah, that works. I wanted the stupid skirt! Why are you giving me the black outfit? I want the skirt! I want the red skirt to complete the outfit! This game is killing me here, Smalls. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Hooray. God dang it. I dropped something on the floor. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to the house. Everyone's saying there's this amazing talent who's absolutely sweeping all these fashion contests. Might be modest, it's true. You're revolutionizing how the city thinks about fashion. Good luck, though I'm sure you won't need it. And we're going to save the game. Skip it a beat. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Thank you. No, I meant to save. I couldn't do today. No, we're just gonna save. We're just gonna save. We're just gonna save, and we're gonna call it quits for the evening. Okay. That's the wrong button. I have 50 different windows open. Yay! Alright, so next stream. Probably not tomorrow. Maybe Monday. Either Monday or Wednesday will be the next stream. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing Layton or if I'm going to be doing a different game. Most likely Layton, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for today. But yeah, I'll try to actually do a stream next Friday because I didn't do it this Friday because I got distracted by videos online and didn't do what I wanted to do because that keeps happening to me. Anywho, that's it. Okay. Bye.